What's up, y'all? Today we're dropping one of our favorite moments from our live archive. If you want the full archive for Q Points Live, become a member at qpoints.com. We love y'all. Enjoy the episode. Peace.
Is it possible that Faith, self-titled by Faith Evans, is a better debut album than What's the 411? That's all. We're just asking.
Just asking.
Just asking.
I have thoughts, Sir Daniel.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Q Points Podcast. I wish I would remember to take my microphone off mute. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III.
So, this episode, Jay Ray, we're stirring the pot a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little. I think there's probably a lot of people that are tuning in that will probably like, I see this.
They never thought about it, and once you have a second to think about it, you'll be like, you know what? You guys might be onto something. Well, Jay Ray, on August 29th of this year, 2025, that will mark the 30th anniversary of Faith Evans' debut album, Faith.
Wow. So you know what this means? We have officially entered the bad boy era, the 30th anniversary of what we really constitute as like the bad boy era. So when we think about how black music made this kind of drastic shift, Mark knows where we're going. Like it is a drastic shift in the way we saw ourselves, in particular in hip hop, but also in R&B.
Yes.
This marks the 30th anniversary. 1995 would have been when that really started. And that's crazy to me that it's been 30 years since this came out.
I feel blessed that we were around for it and we got to witness it firsthand.
Yes.
So, okay. So as Jerry and I typically do, we have these conversations that turn into these questions that we feel like you all might be interested in and probably never thought about it. And before I make this statement or ask this question, I want us to be very clear. Both Jay Ray and I are very clear that What's the 411 is an iconic album.
Absolutely.
It's quadruple times platinum. It's probably more than that at this point. Mary J. Blige is a once-in-a-lifetime artist.
One of one.
She's once-in-a-lifetime artist. She is iconic on her own. But I guess the question that we were pondering, as debut albums are concerned, is it just possible, just a little bit, is it possible that Faith, self-titled by Faith Evans, is a better debut album than What's the 411? That's all. We're just asking.
Just asking.
Just asking.
I have thoughts, Sir Daniel. I have thoughts on this. So I think that it's important for us to recognize that Faith came in the shadow of the watershed moment that was Mary J. Blige's What's the 411, right? Everything about R&B for men and women changed with that record. And I think this question is valid because the same players that created that record, many of them were in the hands of this record it's coming from the same place, right? You know what I mean? So I am wondering if by the time Faith's debut happens, what we are hearing is the years culminations of perfecting this sound.
One of the thoughts that came across my mind in going over this show was that one of the reasons why Faith is possibly a better debut album than What's the 411 is because it is universally recognized that My Life by Mary J. Blige is her magnum opus.
It is. It's her masterpiece.
Is the absolute best album to this day. People, bar none, across the board agree that My Life is in fact Mary J. Blige's best album. So if so facto, it could be, it could be said then that Faith is a better debut album than What's the 411.
Yeah. And to that point, and the reason why I wanted you to mention that is because I think it's also important for us to land the fact that, Faith was newly signed to Bad Boy, right? As My Life was being created, Diddy was off creating Bad Boy, but also still in the Uptown stuff, right?
Right.
So Faith Evans was brought in to work on the My Life record. You know what I'm saying? And contributing vocals and like all of this stuff. I'm sure some writing
Definitely
as well.
Definitely writing.
Yeah, and so I am thinking that this particular album, what I appreciate about Faith, and I'm glad we're talking about it, because one of the things we were talking about, y'all, is that we don't give the Faith debut no love. We act like that record wasn't like an R&B masterpiece, okay?
Yes.
And that record perfected in many ways all of the things that kind of Mary helped to usher in, but the Faith debut album kind of perfected it. And I think we should note, it's important for us to understand, just like with Mary's My Life record, where Chucky Thompson's magic made that record happen, Chucky Thompson's magic also made the Faith record happen, because Faith was like, that's the dude I want to produce my record.
Chucky, it was
shout
all
out to Chucky
over that,
Thompson.
Rest in peace. He was all over that album. And see, here's a couple things that it kind of boils down to, and this resonates with a lot of artists in the music industry. People, when it comes down to vocal ability versus star quality. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying that one of these ladies has one over the other, although, it's pretty obvious. Of course, Mary J. Blige is globally a bigger star, a bigger presence, a bigger celebrity. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, Faith Evans ain't no joke. She ain't no punk either. Faith Evans, we know that she comes from a gospel background, so she's got the vocal chops. I'll Be Sure gave her first shot.
Yep.
As far as the writing and singing background, all of the things, Faith Evans literally was built for creating R&B music, in the creative aspect of making music. Faith Evans was built for it. And then on top of that, she has an amazing voice.
Yeah.
Now, I think where things got sticky, of course, and we can talk a little history.
The rumors.
The thing is that when you think about the messiest person on the planet is usually a man, and that man, of course, is Sean Puffy Combs.
Messy.
It's well known that a lot of the friction or even the comparisons between Mary and Faith got started because Faith was being molded in the image of Mary J. Blige. And so with that happening, of course, the tabloids like to run with the stories. Of course, there have been, you know, historically there have been many conversations about this mythological fight that happened
Yes.
between Mary and Faith. And, you know, it's been dragged on for years until the women both got to a point where they could speak publicly and they
Yes.
speak together and diffuse all the myths about the past that between them. But I mean, you know, for all intents and purposes, J. Ray, the two of them are completely yoked in this game. They've been aligned for since the inception of their careers, and there's nothing that will take that away. They are going to be linked together forever.
Oh, absolutely. So, sidebar, remember the other messiness that they finally had to quash too was like, there was this rumor back in the day. It was like Faith Evans was vocal coaching Mary J. Blige, and that's why Mary sounded so good. And it was like, baby, none of that happened. Y'all just like talking, making up stuff like it wasn't a thing. I just wanted to, baby, the rumor mills back in the day when Faith hit the scene as like a solo act was like a big deal. And we're going to talk about a thing that Diddy did to market Faith that I thought was very interesting. So we're going to get into that in a second. But two things about them being yoked and like together. Even when I had forgotten about this until I was preparing for the show. And I know that I mentioned it to you. I was like, oh, I forgot that Mary and her sister co-wrote Falling in Love with Faith on the record. And I don't know how I forgot this because this version of Love Don't Live Here Anymore is an amazing version featuring Mary and Faith together. This thing is produced by Prince Charles Alexander and them. Mm-hmm. This version of that song is solid. Forgot it happened.
Right. And that's a shame. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like you were saying, I want you to talk about the Diddy what the Diddy formula that he was doing, because if I'm thinking it's the how do you say it? The face being kind of obscured, the kind of look, because for a long time we didn't know what Faith looked like. If you can remember,
yeah,
all of the records that were put out, of course, were in these very generic vinyl vinyl sleeves. If the pictures came out, when that one picture came out of the album, it was an obscure picture and it was just like Faith's mouth.
Yes.
And so, which is along kind of what the What's for the 411 album cover is. It's like Mary wearing that Glamour Shots hat and pulled over her eyes, and you could.
And it was very shadowy.
Yeah, exactly. And which is a very, at the time, a very Diddy formulaic way of introducing an artist to the public. So am I in the ballpark or with your theory?
No, but we're, I mean, all of this is together, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know, and I'm sure Faith has talked about this. I didn't research it before this conversation because I didn't think about it as I was getting into this. But here is what I was thinking of. I was thinking about this.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So Biggie, and so Faith is coming out, and so I think Used to Love Me came out in like June.
Yes, it was a summertime.
So it was a summertime. It was definitely a summertime record, and we then get to see what Faith Evans looks like, right? So we hear the song, we get to see what Faith Evans looks like, and then all of a sudden we realize like, oh, she got married to the Notorious B.I.G. That's a thing.
Who is sizzling?
Who is red
right now.
hot? His album is a year old. He is the biggest thing in hip hop. He is that dude. And so this Vibe cover happens, and I had forgotten that this is how this was set up. Yeah. So this came out in October. There's actually two separate stories. So Diddy is just masterful. There's literally two separate stories. There's a Biggie story and there's a Faith story, which actually, shout out to Emil Wilbekin. Emil Wilbekin wrote the Faith story. But they're photographed together, but they literally have probably a smooth 10 pages of the magazine, because there's the Biggie side of it and there's the Faith side of it. And I was just like, that Diddy, that Sean Puffy Combs,
He who shall not be named.
he who shall not be named, knew how to like roll out an artist. And so now you have his big artist on his label, and now his premier vocalist, and they are also a married couple. Oh, and by the way, they also have projects out. It was just like,
yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. That machine, that was a well-oiled machine at the time, because poor Craig Mack, God rest his soul, was caught up in this, you got Big that's fiery hot right now. He was hot too for a second.
oh my God, yeah.
He was on fire at first, and then Big came along and kind of took the spotlight. And then to add more pressure, you got an R&B, the next R&B queen, come along and drops a very solid R&B album that summer of 1995, because radio picked up on it so fast. It was mid-tempo, so all the DJs were...
There was the head nod that you could do back in the day. Everything was a head nod.
And all the DJs were blending the records. I mean, she was on fire on the mixtape scene. So it was just magnificent. It was, like you said, it was a masterclass in a rollout for this particular album. And so, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing the snipes of this Faith album. Who is Faith?
Yes.
They used to love doing that. Who is Faith? Who is this person? And find out, and this was a lovely setup for Bad Boy Records. It was an awesome time to be a bad boy artist. Well, only
little did we know
there was only 3 people at the time on the label, and it was all good. And it, not for nothing, these 2 women, not only are they linked professionally, but they both share like a nice amount of dubious, kind of shady things that have, marred their careers over the years.
Lord,
and they've all worked with the same people.
Exactly.
Like both Faith and Mary have worked with Whitney Houston, have stood on the stage with Aretha, all the big divas that you can think of. They've all worked with them. Kelly Price, everybody. Yeah. And so when you're good, you're just good. When you're a great vocalist and you're a songwriter and and you're down to earth, you can do those things. Yeah.
I think that when we reflect on the Faith Evans record, you said something really important, and I want to hammer this home for us. It was a squarely R&B album. I feel like with What's the 411 too, what attracted us to that record is how hip hop it sounded, right? Even though it was an R&B album, it felt very hip hop. In terms of the samples that they used, etc. Whereas Faith did that too, but I think the magic of Chucky Thompson was Chucky understood like how to make the melodies kind of like sweet in a way. So you might have like a hard underscore or a hard sample under it, but Chucky understood how to put these beautiful keys on top of things to make it just like what R&B sounded like and what R&B needed. So I feel like as we're talking about this album, that's the thing to remember is it was like, it's a classic R&B. It's now a classic R&B record.
So what I also remember about this is that Faith was an album that even our parents could get into.
They could rock with Faith Evans.
Whereas What's the 411 had that parental advisory sticker on it.
Yep.
Mary had a couple rappers on there dropping,
Grand Poobah. Mary was rapping on the
Mary was
record.
rapping on there. So, Mary faced a lot of criticism.
She did. Remember with the look and everything.
Yeah. It was like, okay, what is she? Is she a hip hop artist? Is she R&B? She took a chance and that chance paid off. Mm-hmm. But in her defense also, What's the 411 has 3 years on Faith. So
Absolutely.
Faith, as an artist, constructing her debut album to be strictly R&B, in her defense, was like, nah, Mary got the hip hop thing covered. Yes, I've got my beats, there's some beats and there's some swing to the records that are on here, but I'm going to bring you all a fully formed R&B album with a 1995 sensibility.
30 years, y'all.
30 years ago. Do you understand? That's a lot of pump it up hair jam and spray and prom hairdos that was going on. We went through, straight back cornrows and hot top fades and everything to these records. So that's why they mean something to us.
Faith has, we already mentioned one earlier, has a classic remake in Love Don't Live Here Anymore featuring Mary. But there's another slow jam, Sir Daniel, that is so deep in like the slow jam.
It's
canon.
in the hymn books.
It's in the hymn books. This is how you make a slow jam. There is a song on that record as well.
Are we?
Yeah, we can talk about Soon As I Get Home.
Listen, Soon As I Get Home is, you know how important Soon As I Get Home is? Soon As I Get Home is so important that they can make a parody song of it as a gospel song.
Yes.
It's in that canon. It's a Quiet Storm fixture. It gave language to women, especially Black women, about who are dealing, they're dealing with this newfound sense of independence. It's the 90s. Mm-hmm. They're being seen, they feel seen. People are taking them seriously. They're making a lot more money in most cases than Black men. Mm-hmm. And so Black women are struggling with this balance of being breadwinners in their own lives, but also being soft enough to maintain relationships or to attract relationships to them. And so, whereas, where Mary is giving us, her tomboy fits and she's bopping and but she's still singing a sweet melody, you have the ladies also now have Faith, who is completely softened, who is, got the hair, the look, the whole look that's going on that would be attractive to both men and women. Mm-hmm. Women want to imitate it. Men want to be with a woman like that. She's light skinned. All the things that
all the things, especially in the 90s.
In the 90s, all the things that could work for you as a female artist in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And so her gently sing this yearning ballad over a very simplistic. It's very simplistic.
Yes,
there's not a whole lot going on in this song. It's just her, the melody, and some strings and keyboard, and that's it.
That's it.
And you've been sucked into this melody of Faith saying, "Listen,
just so you know,
get home.
Just so you know,
it's on. It's on in the song."
Jam. So listen, I think we've landed though, Sir Daniel, which is really interesting throughout this conversation, because I've been watching the chat, is there's definitely love for what's the 411. It's like, no, what's the 411? But there's a whole lot of love for people like, but Faith though.
Yes.
Faith perfected that thing.
We just wanted to pose the question to y'all. We ain't trying to start. I know y'all already think that we have some type of vendetta against Mary. We
love Mary.
We do not. We love Mary. But these are the types of conversations that we have here on Q Points podcast, because that's what we can do. We have these intelligent conversations about things that are meaningful to us.
Subscribe to us. Share the show with your friends, family, colleagues. If you love Q Points, chances are they will love Q Points as well. I was at a doctor's appointment with my mom earlier, and she was like, "How are things going? I was listening to your podcast." See? You know what I mean? The doctor talking about she was checking out Q Points. It's a lovely thing. So check us out. So go ahead over to our website, qpoints.com. There you can listen to like all of our classic episodes of Q Points and do more stuff over there, including reading our blog. And last but not least, you can shop our store at store.qpoints.com and get yourself some fresh gear.
Perfection. Listen, like I always say in this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I'm DJ Sir Daniel.
My name is Jay Ray, y'all.
And this has been Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We will see you on the next go round. Peace.